Hello and welcome to the Knitmancy podcast. I am your host Valentina, coming at you from Northern Virginia, and I'm actually recording early. What that means is instead of my normal recording on Friday, uploading on Friday, I'm recording today on December 21st, which is a Thursday, and we'll be uploading on Friday the 22nd. Well, it'll be scheduled to upload then. I'll talk about this in chit chat, but for now we will go over my social medias and from there onto all sorts of goodies. So let's hop into it. So you can find me on Instagram as Middle of the Madness, or you can find me on Ravelry as Knittermancer. There's also a group under the groups tab for the podcast called the Knitmancy Podcast Group, something like that. And I also have a Tumblr that I run alongside this, where you will get to see my whips when I remember to post. Typically on Wednesdays. I might end up skipping weeks just because, it's podcast week, but for the most part, that's where I'm trying to keep the most updated and active about all of the knitted goodies. Okay. I think I figured that. We got through all that minor issues. So I've got some finished objects. I've got some works in progress. I have a couple other. I don't really have any other really bits and bobs. Maybe. Nah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So yes, let's get started. So finished objects. I actually have looks like 3. I think I showed something last week or last podcast, but we'll probably touch on it again. So no big deals. So we'll start with a pair of socks, which some may argue are not completely done, but I finished my kitty cat socks. There's a little face. Only one of them has a face, which is why I'm like, some people might argue that they're not 100% done. See, one has a face, one doesn't. I don't mind. I think it's cute with a face, without a face. But yes, these are my kitty socks. They are knit in ancient art yarns. Seems about right. On the reinvent base in Calico Cat, and that reinvent base has wool and silk and acrylic and mohair. Probably got something else in there that I've forgotten, but it's one of those yarns that has everything but the kitchen sink in it, and I've worn them quite a few times already because they're cat socks. They're cool. And there's a week in between these, so of course I'm going to wear finished objects as they come up. And then this is 2 of the same thing but knit in different yarns. So Tayler of the Wool Needles Hands podcast, pretty sure that's in the right order, recently released a pattern. It's very simple, it's free, it's called the Firepit mitts. I've knit 2 pair. We have the shorter version done in Knit Picks Simply Wool in the Wordsworth colorway, which is a kind of a neutrally gray, medium gray color. I've noticed that if you're in more yellow light, it looks very brown. But yeah, they're gray. These are actually a gift for my honey for Christmas. And then of course I also knit another pair in the medium size. My gauge was off. I thought there's no way that the small would work with my gauge. Another pair, the long version in a medium, in Knit Picks Simply Alpaca in the Alduus. Yep, that colorway, which is a lovely tourmaline brown color. Yeah. And I mean, they're simple. They're easy. It's worsted weight yarn. I probably should have done a size 8 or 9 needle, but I did it with the suggested 7. I made no alterations on the wool ones, but on these alpaca ones, I did make the thumb slightly shorter because not gonna lie, I tried these on, and I didn't like how long the thumb was on me. So I made shorter thumbs. Yeah. Yes, that's those. Yes, 2 pair. So we can be not quite matching, but matching. Keep ourselves warm. Set those over there. Then got socks. Dropped a stitch. Oop, there we go. Always got socks, right? Got socks. They're just plain vanilla. They were patterned for a while. Then I ripped the pattern out, and now they're plain vanilla. Such is the world. So the yarn is Happy Fuzzy Yarns on their Cory sock in the Lakeside. That seems about right. Lakeside colorway, which is just blue with browns, and it's doing this cool striping thing. And just plain toe up. I want to say like 64 or 68 stitch socks. Something like that. And yeah, this is like my travel knitting, and now of course I'm knitting on them. Let me get to the edge of the sock. Okay, I'll set it down. I'll get to the edge of the sock later. Then, finally, I cast on a sweater literally last night. My hand is dyed because the yarn is bleeding, but that's just an issue with some dark colored yarns. I've had hand dyed blacks, or like, so when Haverland did the Droids You're Looking For duo, the R2 and the BB8 balls, I did get one of those, or a set of those, and I knit socks out of them. And in that, yeah, the black ran. Not so much the other colors until afterwards, and then I think it was like the blue on the BB8 or on the R2D2. I don't know. It was weird. But the black on that did get, at least on my finger. But I guess I should say what pattern this is. This is a very super not exciting, very kind of, for the most part, plain pullover. It is the Whiskey Creek pullover designed by Amy Christoffers. And it's out of like my favorite magazine, the Interweave Knits Fall 2017 issue. Of course. And it's Knit Picks yarn. It's Knit Picks wool, the Andes in the Onyx Heather, which I'm wearing a black shirt, and I think you can tell it's not quite black. It's very close, but not quite. Which I suppose makes it perfect for a sweater that's plain, but not quite. And I'm knitting this for Sean. He gets so spoiled. So spoiled by hand knits. But yeah. So why am I? So we'll go over the list of things as they are happening. Just pulling up a calendar real quickly. Now we're in the chit-chatty stuff, and I mean, I don't see much point to mention this stuff because my episodes are so short. So today is the 21st, tomorrow is the 22nd. Tomorrow I am going back down to the Richmond area because I have an appointment tattoo artist on the 23rd. 3rd. I will not be back up here in Northern Virginia until the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, because we do a family thing on Christmas Eve. Sean might be coming up with me at that point. My mom will, my siblings will, so there's that. This is also the last episode until 2018. Oh my, oh me. So I guess we should figure it out. So I've mentioned I've knit a lot for Sean. I've knit a lot for Sean since doing this podcast. Most of it is been stashed away for like his Christmas stuff. I have a bag with a bear on it because bears are kind of a thing for me. No, they are a thing for me. And in this bear bag, I have a couple of like my knitted goodies for him. So very tempted to just keep the bag. So along with the mitts, which I will be putting in after this because this was all that was left, and I didn't want to put them away until after I had in fact shown them on the podcast. I also need to take pictures of these and the other ones and put them on Instagram. As well as, remember those socks I knit? So the Villiviini socks, it's part of Sean's gift. He picked out the yarn, he knows he's getting them. Very good at my job, obviously. And the Mistletoe Kisses sock. I'm pretty sure I showed these last time, or a time before. Sure, I've shown them the time before, but they might not have been done. They should have been on last time, and they were done. And as I said, Sean and I will have matching socks. It's a thing I do. As well as a hat. This is like, this and the mitts are the only two things that were not blocked. I can't remember if I showed this hat at all ever on the podcast. And it's not blocked. Just winning at life. But it's the Metropolitan, seems about right, Metropolitan hat from the first issue of Rib magazine as designed by Mina Philipp. And you would think that I think was the first pattern I ever knit that was designed by her. And she's great. I'm going to stick his socks back in the bottom of the bag. I'm sure he's forgotten about the hat. Hopefully, how it works for him as something he wants. Obviously, the mitts. And that was, the socks and the mitts are really all the gift knitting I actually did. Earlier on in the year, I went through and I have a drawer in this behind me, where I keep a lot of my hand knits over like the warmer months when I'm not wearing them, as well as other just random bits and bobs, store-bought sweaters, that sort of thing. And earlier this year, I went through and I purged a lot of the goodies that I had stored away, just things that I wasn't going to wear, or I decided, this isn't my favorite. Things like that. I still have a couple of special things stashed away that I don't normally wear, but they're special for a reason, so therefore they don't get worn. And I have put them all in a box. And this box is going to be my Christmas gifts. I have bought a couple of, I bought one special thing for someone because I really, really wanted it. And it was the last. But for the most part, people are they get to choose what they want out of the box. which I think is fair enough. So everybody wants a hand knit, and these will be things that have been lightly used, if ever. I know there's items in there that never have been worn for one reason or another. There's things that have been on the podcast. There are things that, like my first ever hand knit or lace shawl is in there. Things from before I realized that I was doing it wrong, if you will. So that's all packed up in a box and ready to go. Let's see. So I won't be podcasting again until the new year, and that will actually be the first podcast before the new semester starts up for me. I have a very history-heavy semester coming up, as well as chemistry. It's going to be like 3 history classes and a chemistry, and it should be fine. It should be fine. It's what we're going for. And let's see. Let's look back on the things I knit this year, and like notable favorite things that just always make it. I'm trying to think. And I think that a lot of my favorite things only have really come out, I want to say after I started, because but I knit a total of 2 or 3 sweaters. Definitely my prairie wind cardigan, which is just my favorite. Knit a bunch of shawls, including my ricochet shawl, which I still want to put tassels on. I've knit a handful of hats. I've knit a whole bunch of gifts. I've knit shawl. Oh my god, I find my fade. I knit that. And just a bunch of socks. I don't know. I think you're supposed to really use the end of the year for your contemplation and your thoughts and ponderings of the world and what you think the new year will be like. And it's hard to say because things always happen. Do I want to set goals for myself? Yeah, probably. Knit more sweaters. But I'm not sure where to put the goal and what to really say it is. Because I know I don't want to say things like, oh, I want to knit more for other people, because I have a thing with that. And I know there's a lot of people that have a thing with that, where it's like, oh man, I'm knitting for myself, and this thing just kind of flies off the needles. But then the second they need to knit anything for anyone else in the world, it becomes a struggle. I'm hoping that by having this man sweater, oh look, there's a stitch marker I made. This man sweater being so simple as it is, that it will kind of just end up happening that way. But as for like knitting goals for the new year, I don't really have any. I try to keep what I'm knitting to things that I know I'll like, which is part of the reason that like, over this year I purged out my stash. I purged out like the shawls and stuff that I don't wear. But it's so hard when you first cast on that thing to know if this is going to be the thing I want to wear. Because sometimes it's like, oh man, this yarn is so gorgeous, and this would be like prettiest ever. And then once you finish the item, you have this sort of exhaustion from seeing it, and you're like, maybe this doesn't work out for me. So we'll see. We'll see where the new year takes us. Maybe we'll do a knit along. We shall see. We shall see. I know that I probably want to do more spinning. I rewashed my Jacob, so soon I'll be spinning more. I had to scour it again. That's what happened. I had to scour my Jacob fleece again. Soon I'll be spinning it all up. Actually, I might do that this evening. I know that I want to work through the alpaca that I have. I know I want to get another fleece, but I need to finish the Jacob before I can really start focusing energy on another fleece. I know that I want to knit a sweater out of the Jacob. I want to have a hand-spun, hand-knit sweater out of the Jacob. And I think that will be a thing that I want to do any chance I get, is get a fleece, process it, and then knit a sweater or knit some sort of garment out of it so that it's really, really special. And then that way, potentially learn about new breeds through working through their wool. It's a thought. You know what else I did this year? And I think this is where this will be my last little thing before I end off. I spun dog hair. That was probably one of the worst decisions of my life, but you know what? I spun dog hair. I sampled new breed-specific yarns and knit a handful of sweaters. Alright, so I think that's all I really got before I just ramble on more about nothing. And you know what? I'll see y'all on the other side. Hopefully 2018 is a heck of a lot better just in the world than 2017 was. Hopefully America gets its stuff together in 2018. But until we know, until this time next year, we're just going to have to keep rolling with the punches and seeing what happens, you know. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope that you have lovely Christmas holidays, lovely winter holidays, whatever you celebrate. Happy winter solstice, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. So we're missing Hanukkah. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.